If you have ever felt utterly exhausted after a big weekend out with a large group of friends, you might just be a genius. A landmark study observing over 15,000 young adults revealed a fascinating psychological paradox. For the average person, filling their calendar with constant social events directly boosts their life satisfaction. But for highly intelligent individuals, the data paints the exact opposite picture. The more frequently the smartest people socialize, the lower their overall life satisfaction becomes. Simply put, highly intelligent people actually become less happy when they hang out with friends too often. Welcome back. I am Arthur Sterling. It is quite a puzzling contradiction, is it not? While society constantly pushes us to expand our networks and collect as many connections as possible, the brightest minds are deliberately doing the reverse. They are actively shrinking their inner circles. But why? What is it about high intelligence that makes a bustling social life feel more like a burden than a blessing? The answer lies buried in the deep history of human evolution, and the truth will make you rethink your entire weekend plans for this. 1. The Savanna Theory. To understand this bizarre social behavior, we have to travel back in time. Our modern brains are running on some seriously ancient hardware. Evolutionary psychologists Satoshi Konozawa and Norman Lee coined a brilliant concept for this called the Savanna Theory of Happiness. The core idea is brilliantly simple. The situations and environments that make us happy today are deeply rooted in what kept our hunter-gatherer ancestors alive on the African savanna. Picture that ancestral world for a moment. Population density was incredibly sparse, almost unfathomably so by our modern standards. We are talking about an environment with less than one person per square kilometer. In that vast, unforgiving landscape, physical isolation was practically an immediate death sentence. If you wandered off alone without your tribe, you did not find yourself. You found yourself squarely on the bottom of the food chain. Survival meant forming tight-knit groups. You hunted together, you foraged together, and you protected one another. Because of this, the human brain evolved a powerful mechanism to ensure survival. It began rewarding constant social interaction with dopamine and a profound sense of security. For the average person today, this primal wiring remains highly active. Being surrounded by a lively group of friends unconsciously triggers that ancient feeling of being safe from predators. But our current environment looks absolutely nothing like the savanna. We no longer roam the open plains. We live in towering concrete jungles. Consider a place like Manhattan. Instead of a single person wandering a vast square kilometer, Manhattan packs over 27,000 people into that exact same amount of space. This drastic shift creates what psychologists call a massive evolutionary mismatch. Our brains are frantically trying to process a hyper-connected, high-density modern world using a blueprint designed for wide-open spaces. Yet, most humans still rely heavily on their social circles to cope with this overwhelmed feeling. They actively seek out constant interaction, weekend gatherings, and endless group chats to meticulously simulate that ancient tribal safety net. For them, frequent socializing works perfectly. It keeps the primitive brain calm, satisfies the primal need for belonging, and directly boosts their overall life happiness. But this brings us to the ultimate friction point. If staying in a pack is a fundamental survival mechanism baked into human DNA, why does high intelligence completely short-circuit this biological imperative? Why do the sharpest minds look at a pack's social calendar and feel a deep sense of dread instead of comfort? The answer has everything to do with how an advanced brain overrides primitive instincts, treating modern solitude not as a threat, but as the ultimate luxury. 2. The genius exception. A brilliant mind possesses a unique biological superpower. It has the extraordinary ability to completely ignore its own primal programming. While the primitive brain violently demands a large crowd for safety, the advanced intellect simply hits the mute button. This phenomenon is precisely what researchers discovered when they dug deeper into the social habits of young adults aged 18 to 28. In a groundbreaking 2016 paper, published in the British Journal of Psychology, scientists isolated the smartest individuals within the dataset. The results were staggering. For these exceptionally intelligent subjects, every additional social event actually eroded their overall life satisfaction. They were not just indifferent to socializing. Mingling too often was actively making them miserable. Why does this happen? The secret lies in a concept known as evolutionary novelty. Think about our current reality. We fly in pressurized metal tubes at 30,000 feet. We communicate globally through invisible digital signals, and we navigate complex, abstract financial systems. Every single one of these things is evolutionarily novel. This means they are completely alien to our ancestral DNA. Our hunter-gatherer ancestors had absolutely no biological blueprint for dealing with a demanding corporate job, navigating a busy subway system, or paying a 30-year mortgage. For the average brain, this highly complex, unnatural environment creates a tremendous amount of subconscious anxiety. To cope with this modern stress, the average person instinctively falls back on the oldest survival tactic in the human playbook: gathering a tribe. They surround themselves with people to artificially recreate that lost ancestral safety net. But highly intelligent people are wired completely differently. From an evolutionary standpoint, general intelligence did not evolve to help humans perform routine, everyday tasks. Instincts handled the basics like eating, reproducing, and recognizing immediate physical danger. Instead, advanced intelligence evolved as a highly specialized psychological tool designed specifically to solve brand new, unprecedented problems. It is the ultimate adaptation mechanism. Because highly intelligent individuals possess an abundance of this cognitive processing power, they are uniquely equipped to comprehend and navigate modern, evolutionarily novel environments. They do not feel overwhelmed by the complexities of the modern world. Therefore, they simply do not need to rely on the ancient, hardwired instinct of forming a massive tribal safety net to feel secure. Their intellect replaces the tribe. When a highly intelligent person walks through a dense, bustling city, their brain correctly analyzes the environment. It recognizes that despite the chaotic crowds and towering skyscrapers, the physical threat level is incredibly low. They know how to secure food from a grocery store, they know how to lock their apartment door, and they know how to earn a living using a computer. Because their advanced brain fully understands these modern survival mechanics, the primal alarm system remains completely silent. They do not need 20 friends to help them hunt for dinner or stand guard while they sleep. Consequently, constant socializing ceases to be a survival requirement and instead becomes a massive cognitive friction point. Let us explore this friction. When you possess a highly active, complex mind, you are generally driven by long-term, monumental objectives. You might be writing a comprehensive book, developing a revolutionary piece of software, studying advanced medical procedures, or building a complex business structure. These are profoundly modern, evolutionarily novel pursuits. On the ancient Savanna, there was absolutely no such thing as a long-term career goal. You focused entirely on surviving until tomorrow. But today, achieving monumental success requires something that the ancestral world never demanded: deep, sustained, and uninterrupted focus. To the highly intelligent brain, constant social obligations are not a source of comfort. They are a direct threat to this vital deep work. Every dinner party, every weekend bar crawl, and every trivial group chat notification is an interruption. It breaks their concentration and drains their highly valuable cognitive energy. While a person with average intelligence receives a comforting dose of dopamine from engaging in casual small talk, a genius experiences the exact opposite. They find conversations about mundane daily routines, celebrity gossip, or minor workplace drama to be painfully understimulating. It feels like forcing a high-performance sports car to constantly drive through a crowded parking lot at 5 miles per hour. The engine is practically begging to be let loose on the open highway, but it is trapped in a frustrating gridlock. This brings us to a massive societal misunderstanding. Modern culture loves to pathologize intelligent people who prefer solitude. We label them as weird, socially awkward, aloof, or even secretly depressed. We assume that because they are spending their Friday nights alone in a laboratory or reading in a quiet room, they must be missing out on the joy of life. But the data from the British Journal of Psychology proves this assumption completely wrong. They are not isolating themselves because they are sad or broken. They are choosing a smaller circle because they are uniquely equipped to be perfectly, optimally happy in their own company. Solitude, for the sharpest minds, is the ultimate luxury. It is the blank canvas where their intellect can finally stretch out, unburdened by the exhausting demands of the primitive pack. 3. Quality over quantity. So, if highly intelligent individuals view massive social networks as cognitive friction, do they simply abandon humanity altogether? Absolutely not. Instead, they ruthlessly optimize their social lives, adopting a strict philosophy of quality over quantity. Think of it this way. Our brains were originally forged on the vast, open African savanna, an environment where the population density was less than 1 person per square kilometer. In that ancient world, knowing everyone in your sparse tribe of 20 people was literally a matter of life and death. You needed them to survive. Fast forward to today, and we are crammed into concrete jungles like Manhattan, which packs over 27,000 people into that exact same square kilometer. For the average brain, this astronomical increase in social availability is interpreted as a massive opportunity to build an enormous, comforting safety net. But the genius brain sees it for what it truly is: overwhelming, unnecessary noise. Because highly intelligent people prioritize complex, long-term cognitive goals like pursuing advanced academic research, solving intricate engineering problems, or creating profound works of art over primitive survival mechanisms. They treat their time and focus as their most valuable assets. They realize that maintaining a massive circle of casual acquaintances requires an exorbitant amount of emotional maintenance. It demands constant texting, obligatory weekend outings, and endless small talk, just to keep the ties from fading. To a mind driven by intellectual fulfillment, this maintenance is not just exhausting, it is an active distraction from their life's work. Therefore, they actively curate tight-knit, extraordinarily low-maintenance circles. A highly intelligent person and will only have 2 or 3 close friends, but the depth of those relationships is staggering. They seek out individuals who share their passion for deep, meaningful conversations. They want peers who can debate abstract concepts, discuss monumental future goals, and challenge their cognitive frameworks, rather than people who just want to rehash yesterday's office drama or complain about trivial inconveniences. More importantly, these curated friendships are incredibly low friction. Because both parties usually possess similar cognitive traits, they mutually understand the need for space. An intelligent person can go 3 whole months without speaking to their best friend, and when they finally meet up for a cup of coffee, they pick up right where they left off with how to single ounce of guilt or resentment. There is no passive-aggressive punishment for failing to attend a minor social gathering, and no pressure to constantly prove their loyalty through endless text messages. The relationship is built on profound mutual respect for each other's time and intellectual pursuits, rather than a primitive, needy demand for constant physical proximity. Ultimately, a smaller friend group is not a symptom of social awkwardness or a broken personality. It is a highly evolved, deliberate choice. It is the perfect social ecosystem designed to protect their most precious resource, their focused attention. By cutting out the noisy, high-maintenance crowds, intelligent individuals carve out the quiet sanctuary they need to innovate, build, and change the modern world. This deliberate curation allows them to process complex information, formulate groundbreaking ideas, and achieve the extraordinary milestones that a constantly distracted mind simply cannot reach. They are perfectly content with a small inner circle because, for a truly brilliant mind, peace will always be vastly superior to popularity. If you found this deep dive into the psychology of intelligence fascinating, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more insights into the hidden mechanics of the human mind. Until next time, keep your circle small and your thinking big.